The author of the book, Robert Kiyosaki, says that he has two fathers. One is his own biological father, and the other is the father of his best friend. Robert's own father was a professor. His second father, from whom Robert learned to get rich, did not even finish high school, and learned everything by himself in the practice. At the beginning, these two fathers earned enough. But when they died, one of them died as the richest man in Hawaii, leaving millions of dollars to his family, and the other left his family with debts and taxes unpaid. Kiyosaki says that making money is a science that we are not taught in schools. Schools teach us how to become the employee and how to build a career, and that's why most parents teach similar things to their children, and steer them in the same direction of becoming an employee. If you come from a middle-class family, it is very likely that your parents taught you how to become poor, and it's not because your parents don't like you or don't want you to succeed. It's simply because they themselves are not educated about it. They have consumed outdated information. And when you're born, they passed you the same information. Poverty is almost like genetics. It's transmitted from one generation to another. In this video, we'll talk about the 7 main ideas of the book. 1. The importance of financial education and understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. Understanding this difference is the most important step to get rich. In simple terms, the asset is what puts money in your pocket, and the liabilities what takes money away from you. For example, if you own a car that you rent to others, that makes you money every month, then it is an asset. But if you own a car and it takes money from your pocket every month for repairs, maintenance, etc., it is then a liability. An asset can be rental property, company shares, precious metals, etc. The liabilities constitute by your house, your phone, the car you drive. The rich focus on increasing their assets, while the poor buy liabilities and focus on their income. The poor buy an iPhone, the rich buy Apple shares, which are an asset and increase in value over time, but the phone loses its value as soon as you take it out of the store. Growing active ingredients is like planting a tree. You must take care of it for years, until its roots are deep enough to provide shade and bear fruit for your enjoyment. Unfortunately, many people want to get rich quickly without learning about money. It's like building a skyscraper with little or no foundation. And that's why you see people making tons of money, but after a few years losing everything. 2. The rich don't work for the money, it's their money that works for them. At a very young age, Robert had his first business partner, his classmate Mike. They work for the rich father who gave them lessons on how to make money. The first rule they learned is that the rich don't work hard for the money, their money works hard for them. The rich use their brains and find ways for their money to work for them 24/7. From the point of view of one rich person, every dollar earned becomes a small employee and work hard to earn another. On the contrary, the poor and the middle class are guided by fear or desire. They fear that they will not be able to pay their bills, so they work even harder, or when they earn more money, their desire manifests itself and they begin to spend it on debts such as more beautiful cars, bigger houses. Because of their fears and desires, they don't want to invest their money and time in new opportunities. They are afraid of losing their money if they take risks, so they buy bigger screen TVs when they already have one. In comparison, rich people invest their money no matter what. And even if they lose all of it, they are always ahead, because at least they learned something. And this knowledge becomes an important asset for their future investment. On the other hand, the television loses most of its value after a few months, and they end up losing their money anyway, without saying that they lost the opportunity to learn something new. 3. Understand taxes, accounting, and law. Kiyosaki says that making a lot of money does not solve the problem. Learning to keep this money once you earned it solves the problem. If a rich person earns $100,000, he keeps everything, but if a poor or middle-class person earns $100,000, he is heavily taxed and loses 30% to 40% of this money. Kiyosaki explains that at first the government created taxes to punish the rich and give them to the poor. The government used the Robin Hood mentality, and people supported them. But the rich were smart, and they found legal ways not to pay taxes. One of the big differences is that the poor and middle class pay taxes on the money they make, and live with what's left. The rich, on the other hand, make money, spend everything they can, and pay taxes on what's left. 4. The rich invent money. The author says that every person is born with a talent, but that talent is suppressed because of doubt and self-fear. He notices that it's not necessarily the intelligent and educated people who advance, but the daring and the adventurous. People never advance financially even if they have a lot of money, because they have opportunities that they don't seize, out of fear and doubt. Most of them sit waiting for an opportunity to present. The idea of the author is that people create luck, they should not wait for it to arise. He says it's the same with money, you have to create it. 5. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Kiyosaki says his father was smart, well-educated and worked for money, because job security meant everything to him. His rich father became a millionaire by working to learn. The author recommends that young people look for a job where they will learn more than they earn, especially in the field of sales, communication, marketing and accounting. During an interview with a journalist, Robert Kiyosaki learned that she was a great writer and that she had to continue in this way. She told him that she had tried but that it didn't interest anyone. He accidentally offended her when he told her to take a sales course so that she could promote herself. She got defensive and answered saying that she has a master's degree in English literature, why should she go to school to learn how to become a saleswoman? She went to school to be trained in a profession, and she hated salespeople because all they want is money. She then packed her bags. Robert Kiyosaki kindly pointed out that he was the best-selling author and not the best author. The interview ended with these words: "The world has many talented and prosperous people, doctors, lawyers, dentists, and yet they have financial difficulties. But as a wise business consultant once said, they are at a skill of great wealth. If you combine your skills with financial intelligence, accounting, investing, marketing or law, you can become very rich." If this journalist had instead chosen a job in an advertising agency to learn how to sell, she could have created great wealth to her writings. The rich father says, you want to know a little more about a lot of things. At school and at work, you are expected to specialize. Those who get promotions tend to be specialists. However, Robert Kiyosaki's rich father always recommended the opposite. Which is why over the years Robert worked in different sectors of his rich father's business, where he was supposed to attend meetings with lawyers, bankers, accountants. For the rich father, it was essential that Robert know all aspects of creating an empire. 6. People who avoid failure also avoid success. Most people never win because they fear losing or failing. If you look at how humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes, we learn to walk by falling. If we never fell, we would never walk. The same goes for learning, to riding a bike, the same goes for getting rich. Failure is part of the process of success. Kiyosaki says, I look at my gambling like my tennis game. I play hard, I make mistakes, I correct them, and I improve. If I lose the match, I reach out to my opponent, shake his hand, smile, and say see you next Saturday. Quitting after failing 3 or 4 times, it's like going to the gym to get in shape. But after a few days, you give up, because you don't have a result. If you want to be in shape, you have to be consistent. You have to change your exercise program if it is not effective. You have to try a different diet. You have to try another trainer until you find what suits you. Unfortunately, people don't apply the same mentality when it comes to getting in shape financially. 7. Don't focus on your income, but on your assets. The rich in the long run build their columns of assets first. And through the generated income by the column of assets, they buy their luxury. The poor and the middle class buy luxury goods with their sweat and their blood. In other words, if a rich person wants to buy a luxury car, he doesn't buy it right away. He buys assets such as businesses or real estates, and if those assets generate good income, he uses them to buy the car he wants, and always focus on the asset first. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.